everybody. Welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
And we do not have Mr. Nick Kinzel with us tonight, but we are joined by the Left Turn Cult. Guys, introduce yourselves. Dalton, we already know you. What's going on, buddy?
Not as good as my last name. Happy Halloween, everybody. What's up?
Dalton, thanks for coming out with your mask already on, pal.
What?
You already got your mask on for Halloween, bud. Thanks.
What's that supposed to mean?
Means you're ugly, bud.
Oh.
Ooh.
Damn, start the show off dirty.
We got 8 more. Dalton just said one.
All right, and we got Coop from the Left Turn Cult. How you doing, brother?
Hey, it's Coop, Daddy. I'm good. How are you, bro?
Doing fantastic. And we got Cody. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm really glad to be here. I'm doing pretty good. It's a nice, Tuesday night. I overslept my classes today. So, it's been a heck of a day.
Well, there you go. Guys, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Left Turn Cult for our viewers who haven't seen you before?
We're actually we're a terrible podcast. You don't have to listen to us. Don't worry about it.
And then I would follow that up by saying, Coop's pretty harsh on our show. I think it's a pretty cool podcast. It's just a bunch of friends who ended up all liking NASCAR from the friendship off of that. And I would say that we're mostly like a informational type podcast. We do some like one-offs where it's like, a specific incident that happened in NASCAR or a specific category. But pretty much Coop said it best. It's just a couple of guys with really bad opinions.
All right. I like it.
Sounds eerily like us, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I was kind of thinking. I was feeling the similarities a little bit.
Why we're gonna get along just fine around here.
Yep. All right, guys. So you know how we start our show every time. We start off with our Diecast of the week. Cody, what you got for us today, man?
So, I got the 411 on this. Dalton said, make sure you got your diecast on the standby. So mine's a little bit of a sentimental pick. In my opinion, I think it's the greatest paint scheme of all time due to how iconic of a moment it was for the sport.
Oh yeah.
No.
Love that car so much.
And so it's a little bonus added extra. I went flea marketing over the weekend, which was really cool. And I was able to secure a 164 of it as well.
Ooh.
So it was only $2. So of course I had to cop it immediately. But yeah, this right here is my most prized diecast. I have a few different ones, but to me, the 2001 Pepsi 400, I mean, it's a story in itself. It was the moment that, in my opinion, I think saved NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, got to be one of, if not the most important moment in NASCAR history. That was just absolutely incredible. I was 10 years old. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, even seeing that diecast still gives me chills.
Hey,
Man.
Perfect time for the World Series. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Hey, exactly, man. Exactly.
Go Braves.
No kidding. All right, Coop Daddy, what'd you bring for the diecast of the week?
Well, I just suck. I only have one, so I've got this like translucent ET Kevin Harvick car that's actually signed.
Oh, I love that
remember
ET
when those
car.
were big. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's badass.
Ain't that the one where him and Biffle got in that big fight at Bristol?
I think that might be, yeah.
It
I
was.
feel like if Dalton says that, then that's exactly what it was.
It was.
Yeah.
ET. It was ET.
Oh, that's a badass diecast, brother. I like that.
Hell yeah.
Especially with it being my man, Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, shout out Harvick one time.
Let's go. All right, Mr. Dalton Good. What'd you bring for the Stock Car Spectacle today?
Well, boys, it's that time of year again. This weekend is Halloween. Sunday night is Halloween. We're racing at Martinsville in the Halloween afternoon. It's going to be a scary race. So I think it's time out to bring the Halloween diecast. I'm going to bring out the best, in my opinion, best Halloween Kyle Busch paint scheme. This is 2014 with the 2014 Camry body. This is my all-time favorite M&M's Halloween paint scheme. I don't care what he releases in the coming years. I don't even think Skill Zombie has anything on this one. I mean, I just love the M&M characters on the side, all dressed up. The bag where the pumpkins, M&M's, Skittles, and Snickers on it. M&M's all over the hood. I don't see how anything could top this. This is the best Halloween diecast Cowboys ever came up with. So they are. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah. No,
Dude, the way
That
you
dude just
manhandle that
stays
car,
having the
you, like-
sweetest looking Halloween schemes like every single time.
Mm-hmm. No,
Like
I
without
absolutely love
fail,
them.
Death, Taxes, Kyle Busch, sweet Halloween scheme.
That's
Yep.
facts.
No, absolutely. It blows any other Halloween paint scheme out of the water, and especially with that old Toyota Camry body on there. Perfect.
I thought that was
Oh,
the
yeah.
best Camry out of all the Camrys. I mean, I like the current Camry, but I thought that one was pretty sweet.
I thought that one was better looking than this one. I think it looked a lot like meaner to me. I don't know. They made this one look more like a sedan look. I don't know. I don't like it. I still don't know why they're not switching to the Supra for the Cup Series, to be honest.
Well, they want Camry
It's
for
too
Cup,
small.
Supra for Xfinity, and Tundra for trucks. They just want 3 different.
I
worst
see it,
ever-
but it's just kind of stupid when you have like, a Camry, a sedan beating like a Mustang or a Camaro, which are actually like, race cars.
That's the TRD should have been a 2-door.
Yeah. No, I
Oh,
feel
for
ya.
sure.
But yeah,
For
the
sure.
TRD, I see that. Yeah. All right, Mike, what you got for your diecast of the week?
All right, fellas. Once again, I only got a couple more weeks to do this. So while this rivalry is still going on, I gotta troll Ian and by effect Dalton a little bit too, seeing his name on there. The Martinsville, what better time to play the Chase Elliott Martinsville race win from last year? I think I just played it recently, but I don't even care. I could already see the middle finger from Ian, so got what I wanted out of this play.
So many bad
Yeah.
memories from that race. I don't like it.
Well,
I don't like
again,
it.
you know the situation still out of the apartment. We're going on almost 4 months, almost 5 months now. So I'm down to about 4 diecasts I can play every show. So, hey, making the best of what I got right now, fellas.
There you go. All right, guys. For my diecast of the week, just had Mr. Kyle Larson pull off his 9th win of the season at Kansas Motor Speedway. And it looks like he's going off to win that championship at Phoenix. So I figure I'd bring out his first ever NASCAR Cup Series victory from Michigan Speedway in 2000. I want to say this was 2016 when he got his first win. Absolutely destroyed the rear end when he was doing a burnout. I mean, they did such a great job on this race version with the tires getting all blown out, like with a little bit of confetti on there. It's just a badass scheme. I miss the Target cars. They always looked so damn clean.
Yeah, they definitely did. And that's one of those where it's like the perfect amount of confetti on a race win. I get a little perturbed when you get a race win and it's like 85% confetti. You can hardly even tell what kind of car it is or whose car it is sometimes. I like a little bit on there, but too much sometimes a little overkill.
Exactly.
I'm hoping with Blaney's. I think it was the Michigan race where he cleared out the confetti just so the body armor logo was completely clear. I hope in the race win that they do the same thing with that.
That would be awesome.
I want to say I saw the render of that from Circle B, and I want to say you're right, Cody. I want to say that that's the shot they use where you can at least see the logos and stuff.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah, because they doused that car in confetti in Victory Lane too. It was like, Jesus Christ.
Yep. All right, guys. And before we dig into our show, make sure to check out our merchandise on spreadshirt.com. Everything designed by our main man, Dalton Good. Make sure you support the show by checking out some of our merchandise. All right, and then let's get into our Kansas race review, guys. We started off with the Xfinity Series. Trucks were off again this weekend, but we had Mr. Daniel Hemrick leading the field to green. Coop's favorite guy.
Nope.
Ooh.
And then we had the Dinger going on to win stage 1, holding off Hemrick and Cindric. And then Cindric won stage 2. So, guys, we had both championship contenders getting precious playoff points going into this race. I think that worked out well for them. And it's crazy because, like, even after this race ended, nobody is locked into that championship 4 spot yet.
Which is crazy, I think, for we're going into the cutoff race and nobody's locked in. I mean, it's Martinsville, anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
Literally anything can happen.
It's the Xfinity series. It's been the best series throughout the past few years. It's going to go absolutely bananas this weekend.
No, nobody's locked in. The points are relatively tight, right? So just like Cody said, like anything really can happen here. So you got just about anything and everything could break loose and completely turn the championship picture on its head here.
Oh, yeah. And then we had a yellow on lap 97. And guys, everyone was getting loose out of turn 2, and Daniel Hemrick got the worst of it. Spun out Noah Gragson along with them, but both of them got minor damage. They were able to continue on, so that was good to see. And then we had a caution that came on lap 41. Brandon Jones, I don't know, this guy's just running out of talent every weekend, spinning out on the turn. I just don't like the guy.
It's one of my favorite sayings. Just ran out of talent.
Yep. That's what he does every weekend, man.
Well, get used to it, dude. He just re-upped, so he's going to be running out of talent a lot next year, too.
What a waste of a good ride. I'm sorry, but that sucks. I know they're only keeping him in because of his Menard sponsorship. He's just basically Michael Annett 2.0, except he's gotten some lucky wins.
Well, do you think maybe they wanted one guy to stick around, though, to kind of show the new guys coming in the shop?
Yeah, I see that, but Brandon Jones, I don't know. I feel like that guy wrecks more cars than he actually like finishes on the lead lap.
You're sleeping on Brandon Jones the Saturday.
You think so, huh?
I feel like he's going to be a name to watch.
I don't know.
Why? He's random as shit. It'll be him and Harrison. There'll be 2 names to watch.
Hey,
Harrison,
right,
I see more than that because Harrison actually won here last year. But not Brandon
Coop's
Jones.
right, though. Brandon Jones is kind of like lightning. Every once in a while, dude just pops up and just strikes out of nowhere. So where did that even come from? Remember, he had that big, like, random win last year late in the playoffs, too.
Yeah.
Where was
it?
At,
Darlington, I think. When Hamlin and who was it? Ross Chastain, they got into it. They both got into the wall, and then here comes Brandon Jones. He was in 3rd place and went and took the lead and took the win. So, I mean, that's how Brandon Jones wins races, is just lucky ass shit like that happening. It never comes out of skill, ever.
I will give him
Hey, let's go, Brandon.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Show's officially made. We don't got to talk about anything else. We just wrap it at that.
Well, Brandon Jones actually does have one realistic win, and that was when he actually beat Kyle Busch in Phoenix, the last race before the COVID pandemic hit. I don't know if y'all remember that, but he actually earned it that day, so I'll give him that. But that was about it.
Yeah, that was what? Yeah, it has to be his cleanest win in the Xfinity series. That was just went out and took it.
Yeah, I'd say so. All right, guys. And then Sam Mayer driving like a goddamn idiot. I don't know. This guy was supposed to be like him and Ty Gibbs were supposed to be the next big thing. And then this guy steps in the 8 car and he just looks like a goddamn idiot week in and week out. Shows it here at Kansas Speedway by spinning out Harrison Burton, colliding into Noah Gragson. You know, you're messing with playoff drivers. You're not even on a full-time schedule. And you're racing these guys way too hard. You're driving like a goddamn idiot, dude. I don't know. I don't know how to deal with Sam Mayer anymore. That guy, he shouldn't drive in the Xfinity series anymore, man. You want to go wreck some cars, go down in the truck series.
Sam Mayer's a good driver. He's performed well this year. Now, what happened Saturday really sucked. It wasn't the best, but
I don't know.
Crazy because Noah's going to win this Saturday and lock himself in. So it really doesn't matter.
I agree with that.
It happened.
But...
It's in the past. You know, whatever. We'll build.
Well, and to piggyback off of that too, I will say any of these guys, especially a young guy, you know, coming to the Xfinity series on a part-time basis where these guys are driving the car week in and week out, getting better. You know, we talked about it on an episode last year after an interview with Ben Rhodes where he was talking about his time in the 88. is like, you know, he had a race early in the season, ran really well. He's like, oh man, I feel pretty good about this. Then when a couple weeks off, came back and everyone just got miles better than him. And, you know, Sam's probably going to be in that same kind of boat. When you're not consistently getting seat time in the series, it's going to be hard. I would agree, you know, probably put himself in some precarious situations over the weekend, but kind of what you do expect sometimes from a young driver. So give him this kid a little more time. I mean, he's young too. I think he'll be all right.
He just turned 18 halfway through the season. That's why he's in the car now. Listen, Dale Jr. to me is the wisest man of all time in the sport. And Junior believes a lot in this kid. I think he sees something that maybe we don't see. I put all faith in Junior. I think if Junior has the confidence in him to throw him in that ride, you know, it's not a Michael Annett situation by any means. It's not like money is being funneled in through his ride. I think Junior sees something. I think Sam needs a little bit more time. We got to remember, he's 10, 11 races into his career. He's fresh, just super fresh.
Yeah, again, really good point. I couldn't agree more, man.
Yo, Ian.
Yeah. What's up?
I got. So you know that Noah Gregson tweet I sent you, the 179 damn you're fine tweet.
Yeah.
He deleted it.
Oh, did he? Well, yeah, they probably made him take it down.
Dale Jr. said, "Shut the hell up, delete that tweet."
Hey,
well,
I drive the 8 mother.
Listen. Maybe a couple of us are on here advocating for more seat time for Sam Mayer, but don't I go like old Noah G is on board with that right now. So he is not one to step down from passing the shade around when he needs to.
No, I'd much rather have Josh Berry, man. That guy is amazing. I can't wait to see him drive full time next year. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Really great story.
I think next year is going to be the greatest Xfinity Series season we'll see in a long time. Ty Gibbs is going to be coming in full time. Josh Berry is going to be running full time. Dinger, Noah Gregson, guys, it's going to be a phenomenal goddamn. Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible.
It's going to be like a couple years ago when you had the big four with Custer and Briscoe and all them that, you know, on any given night, you know, one of those four would be right there for the lead. And it could have been any of them. It's going to be like that again. You're going to have such a good crop of young talent coming through. Yeah, it's going to be can't miss racing week in and week out, the Xfinity Series again.
Yep, and just shows again why Xfinity Series is like miles ahead of the Cup Series. Just puts on way better racing.
They got the package right, man.
Yep. And then, guys, Ty Gibbs goes on to get his 4th win of his Xfinity Series career at Kansas. Guys, what an incredible career for the kid. And he's not even running a full-time schedule yet.
Who was Mike's picks last week? Can you remind me?
I think it was Ty Gibbs, my friend.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, guys, this kid is the prodigy of NASCAR right now. He is the next big thing. I'm excited to see what he does for his future.
I have a theory that he's not even a human. I think that he was completely just like cryogenically made in Joe Gibbs' lab. And, I mean, I guarantee you the kid's been playing iRacing since he took his first steps. It's just he's so intelligent. His IQ is insane, and you can see it. I think he's only made a couple of costly mistakes this season that he's ran. But I mean, you know, put him side by side with Sam Mayer right now. You know, Ty has made clearly way fewer mistakes in his young career. And I think we're just now seeing the beginning of a very long domination.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I'm excited to see it. This kid has got some freaking talent.
Yeah, this kid's going to have such a meteoric rise to the Cup Series. You're, you know, I think he's going to be another one. It'll be a year, maybe 2 in the Xfinity Series, and they'll be looking to move him up because like Cody said, he's not one of those kids where he's young and talented but has to mature. He's like, how old is he? He's like 20, right? No, he's 19, younger than that. He's 19. Like 18, right? 19. Yeah, he's like 19 going to like 36 mentally. Like he's just so poised, so always calm, cool, collected. He's not going to need a lot of seat time in that series to get up with the big boys on Sunday. And he's going to step into a competitive ride at JGR. And I think he's going to just hit the ground running there too. He's just so impressive.
Oh, definitely. Without a doubt. All right, guys, so let's move on to the Cup Series race. We had Kyle Larson leading the field to green, and then bad luck for Rowdy Busch. Caution came out for him as his right front went flat. Lots of drivers having the same issues. Blaney, Truex, Brad Keselowski, all getting loose out of turn 2 there and hitting the wall.
And that win, baby. It apparently affected everybody. I didn't think the wins were that bad enough to tear these cars up when you get to 2. But there were a lot of people on the radio freaking out about it. Apparently, when you get off of 2, the way the wind was blowing down the backstretch, you would just get way too tight off of 2 and get into the wall. It happened to almost everybody. And unfortunately, we got into it. I mean, it's kind of Kyle's fault too, or the team's fault for preparing another terrible race car, nowhere near top 10 or top 5 like they have been on the mile and a halfs all year. But they were getting better after the first time he hit the wall, and then the second time it just killed it. It's killed, So like Michael Myers did. So I don't know. I mean, it's just very frustrating, but it is what it is, I guess. I'm also ready for these terrible weak ass bodies to just get thrown in the trash after Phoenix. We get the composite bodies, and hopefully we won't have to. I don't think that little contact should just tear up your race car and blow a tire.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
not one bit.
Kyle Busch, is that you? That was a full-on mid-race Kyle Busch interview right there that Dalton gave us.
It was.
I'm Kyle Busch, man. I'm his clone.
You are his
are.
clone.
How do you feel about him being mad that somebody's trying to race against him, aka Bubba? We got to see old vintage Kyle Busch this
Just
weekend.
like screaming his lungs out on the microphone.
That was a full-on playing Madden online rage scream right there. That was incredible.
Exactly what that was.
I'm sorry, I laughed. Like,
Oh yeah, I did too.
See, my thing, I didn't even Bubba wasn't running him dirty or anything. Bubba wasn't forcing anything. He was just trying to race.
Honestly, no. I think what really happened is that Kyle was just frustrated that his car sucked, and him getting run down, caught by Bubba Wallace, getting passed by him is kind of what pissed him off, pretty much. But if you prepare a piece of shit race car, you're not going to go anywhere. So that's just how it goes.
That's what happens, man. But yeah, can't wait for these next gen cars next year, man.
Please.
All right, guys. And then Kyle Larson goes on to win stage 1. And Kyle Busch, he again hits the wall on lap 133. Just more issues for that car.
You were coming back.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, he was coming back and then went back to the tail end of the field, fixed that shit up again.
I wish I could have been there and watched Dalton enjoy that race. I wish I could have seen just the highs and lows that Dalton experienced on Sunday.
Maybe let's do a live reaction one day and you'll see how I really get.
I've been saying this every single time you come on the show. We need, especially for a race you go to, we need somebody sitting next to you that we pay for their ticket. They don't watch the race. We pay them some other kind of funds or whatever we compensate them with. You are to hold a GoPro on Dalton for every lap of the race. That's the only thing you do. That's your only job. And then we make millions off the footage because that would
do
be
a time
incredible.
lapse of the race.
We'll all invest in this camera guy, and we'll all just split the money evenly.
Oh, dude, that'd be great.
Let Parv do it. I think Parv
That's the perfect job for Parv. We just found Parv's new role.
Tell you what, next season I'll plan a race. I don't know when it will be, but then we'll do live reactions, and then you get
that would be great. Dalton, do you remember when you did that to Nick in Atlanta? When you just had his absolute pain photo after Kyle wrecked Hemrick.
I want to get a full video on it because you just could have seen the look on his face and the reaction he had.
Oh,
I wanted to hug him. I felt so bad.
You wanted to hug him so much you crotch chopped him after it happened, pal. You went
so
full
funny because you
Generation X on him, and now we're going to talk about you wanted to hug him. I thought, if anything, you were sweet chin music him after.
It's just so funny, Dalton, because you just kept apologizing and apologizing. Then Nick be like, "I'm so sorry." Like, dude, it wasn't your fault. It was your goddamn driver's fault.
No. He kept apologizing. He had a shit-eating grin on his face the whole time, just making it worse more than anything.
No. Here's the funny part. Here's the funniest part. I remember. I don't know if you guys remember this, but that week when we were texting about getting ready for Atlanta, Nick was talking about Henry better not wreck Kyle Busch, and I asked, "Hey, what happens if we dump you on the first lap?" He says, "I'm going to send you to the Rednecks." And sir, I'm surprised he didn't. I was trying to get out of there, but I'm like, yeah. I had it right.
That was too good.
So I know that was a whole long aside, but going back to that, can you imagine how bad Nick was? Could you guys imagine how awesome that footage would be at Dalton?
Yeah, no kidding.
Incredible.
No, we definitely got to invest in that for sure.
I want this to happen now.
Oh, yeah.
Live next year, you guys pick a race, and I'll do it.
We could even take turns if Parv doesn't want to do it. Like, Coop, you got laps 1 through 50. I'll do 51 through 100.
That'll save us money, too. We don't have to hire anybody.
Yeah,
We don't have to
exactly.
outsource.
There you go.
No, all that's costing us then is battery life on the phones, which whatever.
I can set my phone up somewhere, like on my couch or something, and like just it's pointing towards me at all times.
Just get like a helmet and put a GoPro on there and have it face yourself the whole time.
You had that fan thing where it came around your neck and the fan thing sat right here. You just run a wire across it like that and a GoPro like a foot in front of your face during the race. Oh, it's money.
I have one of those that actually holds
go
a
get your
smartphone. Yeah, I don't know where it's at right now.
Oh shit!
But I have one. Yeah, but it's a smartphone holder, so like comes around your shoulders, and you can just set back and watch YouTube. It's yeah, it's just like that, but it holds a smartphone.
Oh my god,
that's
too
the
good.
Greatest thing I've ever heard of.
Okay.
I like that idea. That's awesome. All right, guys, and then Willie B, he went on to win stage 2. Too little too late for him to gather any playoff points to help him since he's already eliminated. And then Tyler Reddick, he was showing lots of speed late in this race, guys. He's been looking really fast lately. I think a win is coming pretty soon for that 8 car. Not this year. We only got 2 races left, but pretty soon this kid is showing that raw speed that he was showing in the Xfinity series a few years ago.
I mean, yeah, he's single-handedly elevated RCR back a notch or two from where they had been. There were some dark days there for a little while, and he's really kind of brought them back into a playoff picture, and not just like, hey, we made the playoffs, but I don't think they're that far away from, him being able to potentially get out of the round of 16 into the round of 12, and who knows after that. So he's talented. Again, what we know about the next gen card is going to, in a lot of ways, kind of level the playing field. So maybe that gets RCR a little more in the conversation. And then you add in this kid's talent on top of that. Watch out.
I have my big 3 in the cup it's headed by Bubba, Chase, and Reddick. Reddick was a guy that I fell in love with early on. I mean, he's just a wheel man through and through. And I think, if they do level out the playing field a little bit, I mean, we got 2 very experienced dirt drivers out of Reddick and Larson. And their little battle that they had on Sunday was incredible to watch. Imagine if we see that battle week in and week out. I mean, these guys, they grew up racing together. They know how each other runs. I don't think it's too far out to think that we couldn't see a sport maybe dominated by those 2 going forward, because Reddick doing what he's doing in that RCR car right now, I mean, the way that RCR has performed over the last 20 years, I think it says a lot about his driving abilities.
No, absolutely. It's just opening up bigger things for him. Who knows? This might open up things for getting like, a top premier spot for like a bigger team. Who knows?
So you mentioned William Byron. I want to go back to him for a little bit. I feel like he deserves to be in this round of 8 because this is my opinion. I feel like he got screwed out of a round of 8 spot because he was dominating the Roval, and then that caution with Chase Elliott's bumper coming off kind of screwed him over because he was dominating that race. And I feel like he could have won that race, and he got eliminated, obviously. But then he went to the round of 8. And he's running so consistent. I know he probably doesn't have the finishes to show for it, but he's been running way too consistent that he probably could have enough points to make it to the championship four if he can. And he's had a shot to win every single week ever since he did get eliminated. And it's just a shame that we don't have that.
Yep, but unfortunately, as we've seen in the past, that's how the playoffs roll, my friend. And then late in this race, my boy Kevin Harvick was showing some late race speed. But once again, Kyle Larson steals the show, gets his third win in a row of the season, tying Dale Earnhardt for that feat. And he won it on the anniversary of the Hendrick airplane crash as well. So absolutely amazing day for Kyle Larson, getting his 9th win of the season. Guys, obviously just paving his way for his 2021 championship.
Cody, say your line.
It's Kyle Larson's world, and we're just living in it, baby.
There we go.
All right, that answers half of my question then. But I'll ask it anyway. Am I the only one that still thinks he's going to fumble this thing away somehow?
It's going to happen.
I agree.
I just think it's going to be one of those things where, like a couple years ago with Denny, it looked like Denny or Harvick was going to get it done, and neither one of them did. I don't know. I just feel like you're going to see 42 Kyle Larson. How many times would he be at a track where it's like, for example, like a Darlington, dude's ripping the high line, just looks like a stud. Oh, he's going to walk away with this. And then, scrapes the fence. Next thing you know, cuts a tire down 2 laps down.
Run into David Starr. I mean, anything
Yep.
can happen, right?
Oh, no. Come on.
But, when
You fucker.
Oh, that hurts.
you got to call it.
Hurts.
I think it's fair enough to predict. So in Martinsville, a fun little stat behind it. In the last 7 races at Martinsville, we've had 7 different winners.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, call me crazy, I think that we're going to see a repeat of last year through and through. But I think whoever wins Martinsville goes on to wins at Phoenix. And I mean, I think we're just going to see a total repeat of 2020, if you catch my drift.
We
don't
shall see.
I actually disagree. I kind of feel like he's got this in the bag now. I don't think he'll win 4 in a row this weekend at Martinsville because that's just way too hard to do. But I think when he goes to Phoenix, he's got this in the bag. I think his choking days are over. I mean, I'd like for him to win the championship because he does deserve it. But I don't know. Something just tells me it's going to be like the Martin Truex Jr. 2017 season. Hopefully.
Yeah. I do want to give a quick shout out, Ian. Thank you for glossing over and not mentioning Austin Dillon taking out Ryan Blaney. Me and YRB Nation,
that's just
we
not true.
Fully appreciate not mentioning pissing away like
true.
a plus 30-point lead going into this race.
Ryan Blaney just can't drive a car.
You want to fight me now too? Me and Nick both?
Hey, we'll
Is this what's going on here?
Dillon got loose. It's a racing incident, and Blaney just can't hold it. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's exactly what happened.
Hey,
nothing like Austin Dillon can't hold the playoffs or anything like that. But we'll come back to that later.
Not when he's got Tyler Reddick. Come on. Sorry.
Well, hey man, we've got to let little bro take care of your business for you. You got Pop
right.
and little bro fighting your battles now.
That's all right. Hey, we got little bro coming back in next year too, so we're sitting fine.
Yeah, they're going to be like a 6-man tag now.
Exactly.
They have the 3 of them just fighting everybody.
Let's go.
Oh shit. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna dig into Ian's pit stop. We got lots to talk about, so stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back to the Stock Car Spectacle. We're going to be digging into Ian's pit stop. This is the show where we dig into any off-track topics, silly season news, and anything like that. So first off, today on Tuesday, we had Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. take the next-gen car to test at Bowman Gray Stadium to get the cars ready for racing at the LA Coliseum. Guys, pretty cool to bring out some veteran drivers to test these next-gen cars, kind of get a feel for what it's like since, they have driven from 2001 up to like 2016. So they know pretty much how these cars should be running, and some pretty positive feedback from them.
Yeah, from everything I heard and read online today, everything came back pretty positive. And what I liked was who they had in the car. I feel like with half of the nonsense that goes on with NASCAR, if they would just listen to Dale Jr. every once in a while, a little more than they do, we'd probably be in a much better place than we are now.
Amen.
And yes, sir. And then you add in Mr. Smoke to that party too, and he ain't never had a hard time telling anybody what's on his mind. So he was never going to cookie cutter it. So if you're not getting reports from him that the car is absolute ass and this is going to be terrible, then you know what? That's pretty much a ringing endorsement as far as I'm concerned.
Do we have any direct quotes from Tony per se? Because I've not seen anything that Tony said.
I got some. This is the only one I found. So shout out to my our good buddy Dakota Rutledge. He's been talking about how we need to bring like a softer tire. I think tire wear could make a difference with this car. Tony did say something about that. He said from NASCAR, Tony Stewart on tire test at Bowman Gray. He said what they brought with the control set is probably a little harder than what they need. They brought a softer tire and they were pretty happy with it. And I think that's probably a combination of what they'll bring out west for the class.
So kind of, I guess, a generic answer from Stewart. Junior said, quoted that the car was fun as hell. So to hear Junior say that he enjoyed running it, it tingles my pringle a little bit, thinking that maybe we could see a one-off run from Junior at some point in this car. I do love the fact that they had guys who aren't actively running test. I think that's going to make the Coliseum race a whole lot more of a toss-up. Nobody has any idea, that's actively running how this car is going to handle on a 3/4 mile track.
Yeah, I agree there. The only thing that was a little concerning to me with those, with some of Dale Jr.'s further comments too, talking about how well the brakes work and things like that, is it kind of goes a little bit back to what we've talked about with the current gen car versus the Xfinity car is it still just going to be just as easy to drive, especially with the brakes being better and some of that stuff, because one of the things we've harped on our show for the last probably 2-3 years now is the Xfinity car is a harder car to drive. You hear all these guys talk about it, and I think that's one of the things that does make the racing great is, they're always like right on the edge of control with those cars, and you have to be a little bit more of a wheelman to put that car in really good positions. So are we going to see that with this next gen car or not? So
I think we will.
I hope.
Mm-hmm. I think Joey earlier in the year had said that the car was a whole lot more to handle. So I think we'll see him slinging it around. I think the better braking system will actually make for better racing in general. And hopefully in the corners of the 1.5s, they won't have to be full throttle. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more like braking and rolling through.
That's what we're all hoping and praying for, my man.
Yep, some real racing. All right, guys. And then on Sunday for the Kansas race, NASCAR won head-to-head viewership against Formula One at Circuit of the Americas. That's pretty cool because we all know, Formula One, it's watched all over the world. And for it to beat Formula One, it's just pretty cool to see NASCAR kind of coming back in the viewership standpoint.
Very surprised by that. Very surprised.
I need a little more information on this. And here's why I say that. Did they win in just American viewership head-to-head or global? Because American, domestic. I can see. I feel like F1 is still kind of growing in the United States as far as the popularity. NASCAR obviously going to be a little more established here in the States. So to me, that's not as big a surprise as it would be had it been like global viewership, which I think there's just no chance in hell that NASCAR ever really steps up to that game.
So in the last 8 years, based on this race alone, NASCAR has lost over 2 million viewers. It was 2013, I believe it was. They had 4.1 million. And then this one was 4.4, if I'm not mistaken, or 2.4, I'm sorry. F1 though was 1.8 million in viewership. But it also does speak volumes that the race was not on NBC. It was on NBCSN. Had it been on NBC, I think we would have saw a lot more viewership for NASCAR. Mm-hmm. But F1 was only 600,000 viewers off from NASCAR in the United States. So I think that does like ring a little bit of an alarm bell for NASCAR. And there was also 400,000 people that attended this event.
Yeah, that's the thing that stood out to me the most was seeing the attendance stuff from COTA. Like that place was absolutely slam packed. They announced a sellout how long ago?
It was at the start of the year. It was when F1 announced that they would return to the States. I'm a big F1 guy. So, I mean, it was great to see. I'm glad to see that F1 is like earning viewership and respect in the States. But I think it does ring a bell for NASCAR because now next season, NASCAR is going to have to compete with F1 twice in the United States.
Yep, they're going to be in Miami next year too, so that's going to be awesome.
I just want to know, like, what is F1 doing that we're not? You know,
the docu series.
Well, yeah, true. But I feel like NASCAR should just hire people from Formula One to try to help promote their brand a lot better. Maybe get those missing fans back or the new fans back that they're trying to chase. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not really the biggest Formula One guy. I've tried so many times to get into it. I just haven't been able to do that yet. Maybe there will be a day where I will, but as of right now, I'm still trying. Maybe one day. You'll never know. But yeah, I just need NASCAR to find a way to learn from Formula One, and that's what Denny Hamlin talked about last week. He thinks that NASCAR should take a Formula One approach on how they approach like race weekends, like for the VIP experience and the pit access and everything like that. I just want can anybody tell me what Formula One does for pit access? How is it better than NASCAR? Because I don't understand what he's talking about here.
It's more prestigious and elite. I mean, it's not that just normal average Joes can go down there. It's just much more of a spectacle, right? I mean, all jokes aside or whatnot. I mean, it was Megan Thee Stallion down there. How many races has Megan Thee Stallion been to in NASCAR, right? You're talking one of the biggest hip hop artists in the world going to this race. There were, I don't know how far y'all swing outside of motorsports, but 100 Thieves, it's like the #1 esports organization. They're really good friends with Lando Norris. They were there. They have an entire clothing line coming out next week based on Formula One. Their stuff is really popular in the youth culture. That entire clothing line is going to sell out in the matter of minutes and then be resold online for $2,000-$3,000 per shirt. So I mean, it's just the culture surrounding F1 is so much more prestigious and I hate to say preppy than what the NASCAR culture is. But you have American fans who are now introduced to the sport. They were able to flip over, start watching F1, and they already knew all the drivers because of the Netflix documentary. You let somebody be introduced to NASCAR, they've got to learn all of these drivers' names, who they are, their personalities, just through little tidbits. Whereas with the Netflix documentary, we followed the drivers. We got to learn all about them, their life story, their family interviews, friend interviews. You got to see their personalities. So it was immediately people could go into F1 and be like, okay, I like Daniel Ricciardo because he's he wants to be a Texan, right? I like Lewis Hamilton because he's dominant. He's arguably one of the greatest of all time. I like Max Verstappen because he's an upcomer, right? You got to meet these drivers and you knew about them when you switched over to the channel, and just NASCAR doesn't offer that right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I agree. And I think one of the things that kind of drives that too is just the difference between the two financially. We've talked about in our NASCAR community, the difference between how, within similar rules, back marker teams just get blown out of the water by the big money teams week in and week out. Now let's compare the budget of a NASCAR, the whole organization, to even just a middle of the pack F1 team. The middle of the pack F1 teams probably have a bigger budget than all of NASCAR to begin with. The last time I saw the reporting thing is Mercedes budget 3 or 4 years ago was $900 million for the year, or something just astronomical like that. NASCAR's not touching that even as a whole organization. So
hell no.
Not even, just think about not performance notwithstanding. Let's get into just marketing, media, social media, all that stuff. They're pushing more dollars into pushing how far out how the reach of their product that NASCAR just can't. And I think that's one of the things that they can kind of reset their culture to whatever they want it to be. And we're kind of stuck with the NASCAR, even though I think anybody that's around the sport knows better, but you still get a lot of just the good old boy stuff with NASCAR too, that people think that's just all it is.
I think that's what interests me the most about F1 is that it's not marketed to a working man in the least bit. I mean, Ford versus Mercedes, right? I mean, if you're picking your team, your average blue collar worker probably owns a Ford, so they're going to pull for Ford, or they own a Chevy, so they're pulling for Chevy. And even their corporate sponsors, who the teams are advertising for, it's not companies that me or you are going to go out and buy. I mean, we're talking Rolex and just these high dollar, very
bougie.
elite. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I think that's a really. I'm glad you brought that point up, because that's just such a weird differential between the two sports. But I think that F1 just they portray and show the drivers in a different light than how NASCAR does. And I think we need more. I think it's notoriety more than anything, right?
Yeah, and the reported and rumored NASCAR doc that is that still going on with Netflix? I remember there was talks.
The Buffalo one?
Yeah,
it's happening.
So you get a couple more kind of documentaries like that. I think that'll make some big inroads, as it did for F1 in America. I know there was talks that got shut down because of COVID again, that they were going to have one. I don't remember where it was supposed to come out. It was supposed to follow a couple different teams around and just kind of cover the series as a whole for the season. You get one of those for next year, something like that, when hopefully COVID's a little more died down. And again, it's more eyes on the sport, a different reach. I think that plays dividends too.
Yep. Anything that will help to boost up the ratings for the sport. I mean, I see it slowly going up. Viewership has gone up in the past year or so. So it's getting a lot better than what it used to be a few years ago. So I think things are getting a lot better for NASCAR.
The attendance, however, is still kind of off. Like, I get COVID affected it, but you would think, with it being more relaxed, people are going to want to come back. I mean, NFL, Major League Baseball, and all the other sports are having no problem with that. But NASCAR's, I feel like the attendance-wise is just getting worse. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but apparently Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin both called out track promoters in a meeting with Steve Phelps, a private meeting, my ad. Kyle shouted, make track promoters great again. I can't remember what Denny Hamlin said, but drivers are not happy with the attendance records either. And I think Denny Hamlin was trying to figure out, how we can get the attendance back up when Formula One's just blowing it out the water. I mean, you saw that at Coda, obviously. Like, the whole, it kind of looked like Road America on 4th of July this year, So
right.
I bought my Martinsville tickets back in July. And I was like, man, I got to get these because they're going to sell out, because this is, the race leading up to the championship race. Coop literally just bought his Martinsville tickets 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Jeez, come on. This should be a sellout. What the hell?
And I'll be honest, like, when we went back to Atlanta, kind of like right when COVID started to end, I mean, the attendance was bad there too. Mm-hmm. And that was also a better weather. Atlanta fans always complain about, the weather sucks. It's in March. It's way too cold. Move it to summertime where a lot of people will go. And that's what used to happen. They moved it to Labor Day. Everybody showed up. It was always a near sellout. And then they kind of moved it back this year, and it still looked like a March race or a COVID restricted race too, which was disappointing.
Right.
The night race, man. The night race is where it was at in Atlanta.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But that kind of goes to our next point here. This was from Adam Stern yesterday on Monday. He said that NASCAR has hinted that it's going to strip more poor-performing tracks off their of their races in the incoming years. It's preparing to invest heavily in new ideas like a street course. Guys, they're going to be getting rid of some poor performance tracks. I did see that Dover was kind of on that list that they were kind of talking about maybe getting rid of. I don't really
Absolutely
like
not.
that.
I veto that. I veto that shit hard.
And also getting rid of one Pocono race as well. I think that's all right. I think Pocono only needs one race anyway, but NASCAR is looking forward to the future, looking at a street course race. They have hinted that they want to do a Chicago street course race. So, guys, I mean, honestly, at this point, don't knock it till you try it. I mean, I think it would be cool to see a street course race in the city of Chicago. It's only, 40 minutes from where I live. So why the hell not? If it doesn't work, let's never do it again, but might as well try it.
Question for you. Do you think we go back to Chicagoland ever?
I hope
No.
so, but probably
I
not.
honestly
don't.
don't think they do.
No.
Which sucks, because they shut down the drag strip too, didn't they?
They
They didn't run anything this year.
Yeah, they shut down the drag strip. The only thing that's still going on around there is the dirt track.
Yeah, Dirt Oval's still running. And yeah, Coop, yep, I don't think they ever go back to Chicagoland at this point. I was reading some articles the other day. It's like that land is more valuable to the areas around it for like Amazon and stuff to expand.
That's what I was going to say. Watch, they'll fucking tear it down and put it in a big Amazon distribution or something.
Well, they already got one right there.
That was the talk.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, Amazon is real big over there. And one of the proposals as to why the track shut down is where we used to camp year after year was on the backstretch. And their whole Amazon expansion was going to reach into the campground there and almost butt up right against where the track is now. So,
oh wait, they made like a whole like city thing back there, didn't they? They made like a whole subdivision back there, right?
No. If you go back, so it's more of an industrial park than a subdivision.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, unless somebody comes in and puts a boatload of money into it and decides they're going to do like the proposed Atlanta plan where they're going to build like hotels and casinos and all this other shit. Remember that came out a couple years ago, that when they were originally first talking about reconfiguring the track and repaving it and all that, unless they do something like kind of like a Kansas where, they just put a boatload into it, which I can't see. They're going to have to find, other creative ways for NASCAR to hit the Chicago market. Otherwise,
I really think NASCAR for the Chicago market, best way it'll work out is if they start racing at Soldier Field again like they used to back in the day.
That would be incredible.
That would be so bad.
The LA Coliseum, I think, opens the door for a lot of events like that. And I think that's honestly what NASCAR, was it Steve Phelps that said all of this?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that he's done a lot of things that I firmly disagree with, but he's done a lot of things, I think, in hopes of propelling the sport towards the future. I think that us moving around city to city in some way or another, whether it be the All-Star race, I'm not a fan of the All-Star race being at Texas. I think the Bristol Dirt Race should be the All-Star race. Or yes. I think the All-Star race should always be some kind of crazy event, right? Why not each year, let's do a different major city that's not necessarily in the NASCAR market. Let's run a street course there. What's the harm in it? 1 week per year, we have a street course that introduces an entirely new market to the sport, right? If you live in Chicago and you don't care anything about NASCAR, but you find out half of downtown's going to be shut down this weekend because NASCAR's running, odds are you're going to be a little curious in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think when Steve Phelps says that, they're wanting to get rid of, so I pulled up a list of the Isc Tracks, which are the NASCAR-owned racetracks. You have Auto Club, which is being reconfigured after next season.
Mm-hmm.
You have Chicagoland, Darlington, Daytona, Homestead, Kansas, Martinsville, Michigan, Phoenix, Richmond, Talladega, and Watkins Glen. I only see Richmond, Michigan, and Kansas as like real contenders to be stripped a race.
Probably not Kansas, since they have the Hollywood Casino right there.
That's fair, but looking at viewership and in attendance, I mean, if they're really starting to propel forward to the future,
I mean, it's just Chicagoland 2.0, really, if you think about it.
Yeah,
that's Kansas.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we lost Kentucky, which was a fine track in my opinion. And then Texas lost a points race, but they kept 2 races per year, which is silly to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have so many just stale tracks. I don't think that there's a thing wrong with just trying something new. If nobody's watching and nobody's attending, why are they running there?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I agree. They do have to kind of think about how we're going to go to the forward and keep the sport going and grow the sport. Part of it is, we've talked in the past, you've got to listen to the fans, but you've got to know when to listen to the fans, because there's certain things the fans have opinions on that they don't have any clue what the fuck they're talking about. We've seen some of it with the road courses. I feel like the schedule got a little oversaturated with road courses. And we've seen it with short tracks. That's something that's been talked about. We need more of on the schedule. And I think they do well to bring back a couple of those. A nice mix of short tracks, some road courses in there, staying true to the NASCAR roots. I think that's going to be kind of the formula for success going forward too. I'd really like to see them get back to some tracks like Rockingham in the future and things like that. And I think there are enough tracks on the schedule that have dates, like Cody was saying, where we don't have to go there twice. We don't have to hit Pocono for a doubleheader. There are some tracks where you could cut off the schedule, trim some fat off of the body of NASCAR in that point, and just really, have some really creative and interesting opportunities that put new eyeballs on the product, where it's not, 15 mile and a half, a Daytona twice, a Talladega twice, a couple of short tracks, then a mile and a half to finish the season. I think if they kind of blow that up and get really creative with what they want to do, you could get some new eyeballs on the sport, but you also have to be very, very careful to not alienate the lifers that have been around for a long time. And I think that's a really incredibly difficult balancing act that I'm glad I'm not the guy that's got to make those decisions sometimes.
No, you can't make everyone happy.
No,
well, I think one thing that a lot of people do forget is NASCAR is historically synonymous with road course / street racing. I mean, back in the 50s, we ran at airports. Like we ran landing strips at airports. The Daytona road course is technically the original Daytona road course, of course. It was technically a street course, right? I mean, they ran half on the beach, half on a literal highway in Daytona Beach.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that a lot of people, we do have those lifelong fans that probably started watching in the 80s. But, if we want to take NASCAR really back to its roots, I think a street course is a really nice way to pay respect to the original guys. NASCAR literally came from bootlegging, right?
Yep.
Running moonshine.
Yep.
And a street course literally pays so much honor to where the sport actually came from.
Dude, you couldn't have said it any better, man.
Thank you.
I'm
actually really passionate about this.
Yeah.
I love the idea of road courses.
No,
and street
I've been
courses.
pretty
The
stoked
history.
ever since they showed the iRacing map for Chicago. I thought that was badass when they had the race on there. That was so damn cool. I'm excited if it actually comes.
Well, and
Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
the scenery and the shots you're going to get are going to be awesome. So, like, Cody, you're a big F1 guy too. Like, when they race at Baku and you see like the castle in the back and some of that stuff,
It's
like
beautiful.
that.
Beautiful.
Yes. Like, can we imagine that happening for NASCAR? We go to a couple places like that where you're running around like historical landmarks in the U.S. It'd just be out of this world.
Yeah. Now
Right.
they're going around Turn 4, around Madison Square Garden, or now they're going by Sears Tower. I don't think it's called Sears Tower anymore.
Well,
But
that's what we call it.
okay.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean things like that. Now I will
Driving
say,
along the lakefront or something like that.
Right,
That would look
exactly.
so cool.
Yeah, the winds from the lakes are messing with the cars a little bit. Like, let's have those natural parts affect the race the same way it would have, as the moonshiner. Don't take that route because it's a little bumpy.
Right.
But I do have one big complaint when it comes to the way we handled the road courses this season. We ran 6 road courses in the regular season, and only 1 in the playoffs. In my opinion, just the percentage didn't add up very well. A quarter of the races we ran in the regular season were road courses. So I think that we did need 1 more road course in the playoffs to balance it out.
Yeah, and I think what you just said is my biggest issue with it. I should say, was exactly that. It's, just because some is good doesn't mean more is always better. You kind of oversaturate. Like, people were clamoring for some road course racing. Instead of adding a few road courses to our schedule already, they just kind of just threw gasoline on the fire.
Which we did lose 1. We're not going back to Daytona.
Right.
Yeah.
So
God.
I'm cool with that.
Me too. As a big road course guy, me too.
I just don't want them to get carried away with the street courses. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try one out, obviously, but I'm not going to lie. The IndyCar race at downtown Nashville kind of gave me nightmares.
Dude, it was incredible. It was so exciting.
I mean, it's just the fact that a car that got his wing broke off and almost flipped in the freaking river comes back
And won.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought the corners were also just way too tight. I guess it really just depends on where you're going and how it's designed.
And that's the street course.
Yeah.
That's why it's
Yeah.
exciting.
However, you got to
I will-
remember too that course was built for Indy cars, and the way that they handle those cars can stop and turn on a dime, and they're designed to maneuver in such a way. Knowing NASCAR cars don't do that, they would have to design the track appropriately. Now, that's also putting a lot of trust into NASCAR to get it right, which I can't always argue that they've earned. But you know what?
Indy
Only one
road
way to
course.
find out.
I mean, just look at the Indy road course.
Yeah, which was a blast, though.
Oh, it was fucking amazing to be at, but oh my God, what a disaster at the same time.
Right, but it's incredible for the sport. We have sports crossing over. I was on the Garage Guys podcast on Sunday, and I made a really good point, not to toot my own horn, but I think an incredible event would be Indy Road Course and have Indy NASCAR F1 all run the same weekend.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, you've hit on that before.
I would love that. I would be all for that. Yeah, we went to the Indy Road Course race. We only went for the Cup race, so we didn't see Xfinity or IndyCar run that weekend, but that was pretty cool to see. I would be all for that weekend. I think that would just bring in so many fans from different backgrounds. I think it would be a beautiful thing for racing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Cody talking about paying homage to the past. The Indianapolis 500 was at one point recognized in the FIA World Championship. You add all that together, man, that could be.
If you
like
love motorsports, man, there is no way you wouldn't enjoy that weekend.
No, like it's be almost like how Memorial Day is, you know, with Monaco 500. Then going to the Coca-Cola 600, then you have that triple header weekend. Good God,
that would be amazing.
Sell out
and then have trucks and Xfinity at IRP. Dude, I think that would be the best weekend ever. That would be the best weekend ever.
Absolutely, yeah. It's economically, like, Indianapolis would just explode in revenue.
Yeah.
Roger Penske would be packing his wallet thick.
And I don't know if you guys ever have been there, but it's a beautiful little city too, Indianapolis. So
yeah, I went to the 500 this year. Actually, I was lucky enough to get to go.
Oh hell yeah!
Speedway is just a beautiful city, man.
Oh yeah,
it's
and
nice.
Not all that far from downtown Indy if you want to go clown around and see the city some too. But yeah, and then Cody, you know, because I went a couple years back too. There is nothing quite like going to the Indy 500.
You don't even understand how fast those cars are until you see them just zip by. A blur, and they're so quiet too.
That's what got me. I went the first year with my buddy, and we got I bought us the race electronics headsets and everything to listen. So I'm like, you know, we're sitting like fifth row coming out of turn 4. I'm like, we're gonna need some help, you know, with our ear protection. Might as well at least, you know, hear what's going on. I took them off or something. The cars blew past. I'm like, this guy, like, they turned their car off, save fuel or something. I'm missing something here. And no, they're just quiet.
Yeah, 2 things I want to add real quick is that, well, number one, I think before we start stripping racetracks, I kind of want to see how the Gen 7 races first, I feel like, just to be safe, so that we don't regret it later on. And number two, I would love to see Portland go to the Cup Series sometime.
That would be cool.
Because I know Xfinity is going there next year. Now, I've never seen a race in Portland, but I do have a little bit of Oregon in me because my whole mom's side of the family is all from Eugene, Oregon. So I kind of got Oregon roots in me. Go Vols and go Ducks. But I would love to see a Portland road course, see how that is. And I actually might go. Who knows? I might just call my pop who lives there and say, hey, let's go take this place out.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
You could be the on-ground reporter for all of us.
I'll get some LTC content, I guess.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Well, we are going to take another short break, but when we come back, we are going to dig into our Martinsville preview. We're going to be making our predictions for the Truck Series, Xfinity, and Cup Series. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to the Stock Car Spectacle. We're going to be ending our show here with our Martinsville preview. First off, we got the Truck Series. Yes, they are back on track this weekend. We got the United Rentals 200. It's a 105-mile race. Stages 1 and 2 are 50 laps each. Final stage is 100 for a total of 200 laps. Last year's winner was Grant Enfinger. Most wins here at Martinsville for a current Truck Series driver is Johnny Sauter with 2 wins. Not going to happen this weekend. Some notables that we got in this race. We got Josh Berry. He's going to be in the 25 for Rackley WAR, and Parker Kligerman is going to be in the 75 for Henderson Motorsports. So, guys, who is your pick to win the Truck Series race? Coop, who you got, my friend?
I got weird with it. I don't know why. I just wanted to say, end on a high note. I think Haley Deegan's going to win that race.
Oh,
Fuck
I don't
you,
know
Dalton.
about that, man.
I want to get weird with it. I want to get weird. I want to say
Alright,
Haley Deegan's
you
going to come
know
out and
what?
be sharp.
Get weird with it, Coop. I like
I have to. It's the Truck Series. Come on. I
Yep.
mean, of course, I want Stuart Friesen to win. If Stuart Friesen wins, I'm going to do a backflip. I'm going to be so happy. But
Hell yeah.
I mean, so if that happens, Coop's got to buy like Haley Deegan branded panties and underwear.
Yeah. I got to buy the PSD
So,
bra and underwear. And
We
I'll wear it
need
on
to
the
see
show.
Coop in like a youth extra schmedium Haley Deegan shirt on race
I'll
day.
do
Then
it, baby. I'll
There
do
you
all
it.
go.
in on it.
Don't
Yeah.
try me.
just treasure trail and everything hanging out, looking like a stud.
There ain't too much to hang out, brother.
Oh shit. All right, Cody, who you got to win the Truck Series race on Saturday?
There's a guy, this is my championship prediction driver as well. There's a guy who he excels at flatter tracks. So that 2 truck's going to roll into victory lane. Sheldon Creed is going to lock himself in for the championship race.
Shout out RCR.
All righty.
Okay.
Dalton, who you got to win the Truck Series race?
John Hunter Nemechek.
Going for KBM,
Really went
I
out on a
see.
limb there, pal.
JHN. That's all I got.
All right, Mikey, who you got to win the Truck Series race?
All right, fellas, I'm going to have to be a little bit of a homer on this one. I'm going with my man's Benjamin Rhodes to get it done. He's looked fast. He's got all but a dub at Martinsville. He's led a bunch of laps here in his career, been super fast here, been one of the championship guys all season long. I think it's the kind of track he could really solidify his championship aspirations at. So I'm going 99 Ben Rhodes victory lane.
All right, not bad, not bad. For my pick to win the Truck Series race, I am going for Mr. Josh Berry. We saw him win the Xfinity Series race earlier this year at Martinsville. We know he's really, really good at that track. So why not pull that 25 into victory lane? I think that would be pretty badass to see. And then we're moving on to the Xfinity Series later that day on Saturday. We got the Dead On Tools 250, 157-mile race. Stages 1 and 2 are 60 laps each. The final stage is 130 for a total of 250 laps. Previous winners, we got Harrison Burton. He won here last year, and Josh Berry won here in the spring earlier this year. Some notables in this race, guys. Natalie Decker is back. She's in the 23 for Hour Motorsports,
There you go.
ready to put that thing into the damn wall and get taken out by the wrecker again. Oh, man.
Why?
I don't know.
The disrespect, the utter disrespect.
I mean, when she starts showing some real talent or anything that even proves that she knows how to drive a car, then I'll show her some respect.
She is a competitive, in all seriousness, all jokes aside, she is a very competitive iRacer. And I mean, she's been playing the hell out
so
of
am I.
iRacing. Hey,
She's got really bad arthritis too. Come on. Seriously.
yeah, no, and honestly, in all fairness, our motorsports, this is going to be a little bit more of a competitive ride. I think that she could perform well, but I think that iRacing genuinely does help a lot. And I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I really think
She
you're
comes
gonna
out
be
and
eating
wins the
those
damn
words,
thing.
man.
I hope so.
I hope
so.
If
not.
she wins, you guys have to come on again next week. While you're like, we're assholes.
I told you.
Is what it is.
Yeah, I told you so. I mean,
We told you.
Oh man.
Oh god. And then Josh Berry, he's going to be in the 31 for Jordan Anderson Racing, and then Ty Gibbs is back in that 54 for JGR. So Cody, who do you got to win the Xfinity Series race?
Cody,
I
come here.
refuse. Oh wait, it's this side. Yeah, so I should be picking Ty Gibbs because I feel like he's just the obvious winner already, right? But I think that Martinsville is a rough and rowdy track. Talk about a guy who really likes to, slam around, beat around, throw some fists, be a nitty gritty racer. I think Noah Gragson is gonna solidify his championship hopes at Martinsville. I mean, the dude knows how to drive clearly. The flatter tracks always tend to go in his favor anyway.
He's won there in the truck series.
He has. And I think, coming off he's had a frustrating past few weeks. I think that he's going to redeem himself. And I think if Noah wants to be looked at seriously going forward, he's got to do something big. He has to.
No, I believe this is where he's going to do it. All right, Coop, who you got to win Xfinity?
Cody's got the points right there. I'm running with Noah Gragson as well. Man's going to lock himself in. Is he going to win the championship? Probably not. I mean, come on. The points differential between him, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Cindric, it's pretty solidified on who's going to win that championship. It's going to be between those two. But Noah Gragson's going to be in that top 4, so I'm going to take Noah Gragson this weekend.
All righty. Mr. Dalton Good, who you got to win the Xfinity race?
I'm going to go with, I hate to do this to y'all, but I'm going to go with Noah Gregson's little rival, a.k.a. hometown boy.
Get the out of here.
Harrison Burton in Martinsville. I know it's going to piss you guys. I want Noah to make it into the championship 4. I really, really do, because I actually love the kid, but I just got to roll with Harrison Burton. I just feel like Noah's going to run into some shit. I don't want him to, but we'll see how it all shakes out.
See how it goes.
And also, he won last year, so I can't take him out of that.
All right, Mike, who you got?
All right, I think AJ Allmendinger is going to punch his ticket here and get the dub here. Reason being, he's got that aggressiveness to him on a track like this, where you can't be Mr. Nice Guy Martinsville and have things go your way. You've seen it time and time again. This is a track where you can't give, you have to take, especially late in the race. And I think one thing we've seen with Dinger this year, he's definitely had the propensity to put the bumper on people when he needs to, and he's stirred up the controversy when he's had to. So he's been fast this year, so that's why I think it's going to be Dinger, and I feel like Coop's already ready for a rebuttal.
No, I fucking love Dinger, bro.
Oh, all right. Well, you had that
I'm a
look
big
like,
Dinger
I'm
guy.
about to
Big
fight
Dinger
this
guy.
man right now. All right, cool.
No, Dalton just sent me a text, and I kind of died inside, so I was directing the big eyes to Dalton.
We'll let you know after the show.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
All right. So for my pick to win the Xfinity Series race, guys, it's going to be Ty Gibbs. This kid has been absolutely dominant throughout his entire season running the Xfinity Series. So he's going to cap it off here at Martinsville, get that dub.
I mean, what else can you say? It's Ty Gibbs' world, and we're just living in it too. So.
No, exactly. All right, and then we'll move on to the Cup Series race on Sunday on Halloween. We got the Xfinity 500, 263-mile race. Stages 1 and 2 are 130 laps each, and the final stage is 240 for a total of 500 laps. Previous winners here at Martinsville, Chase Elliott won here last year in the playoffs, and Martin Truex Jr. won here in the spring. Most current driver wins at this track, we got Mr. Dennis Hamlin with 5 wins at Martinsville. Most team wins is Hendrick. They got 26 wins at Martinsville Speedway. That is absolutely ridiculous. But even more ridiculous is the most manufacturer wins, and that's Chevrolet with 57 wins at Martinsville Speedway. So definitely maybe want to go for a bow tie this weekend. Guys, who is your pick to win? Dalton, who you got for the paperclip?
I'm going to go with another hometown favorite, and that is Martin Truex Jr. I mean, hell, they named his track after him, and also hometown track.
Well, good news is he's not going to have a shortage of lappers to bitch about. So that will play well for him.
Yeah, there you go. All right,
Cody Diggs. So I'm going to implement a little bit of a little thing that we do on our show. I'm also going to give an underdog pick as well. Now, this is a guy who showed a lot of speed last week. He got his first ever win this season. I think Bubba Wallace is a really good underdog to look at Martinsville because he's had success there. He has a grandfather clock himself. That's his first ever win came at Martinsville, and it actually came full circle. He beat his teammate Denny Hamlin, who was driving an Air Jordan sponsored truck in that race. So it's like, everything's just lined up for Bubba Wallace to go out there and potentially win this weekend. As far as a solid lock pick, I alluded to it a little bit earlier, I believe. I think that the 2021 season is going to end incredibly similar to how 2020 ended. And I think Chase Elliott is going to go out there, lock himself in, and continue on and be a back-to-back champion.
All right. Coop.
I've got to stick. I'm going to do the same thing with the LTC. I'm going to have my underdog. For my underdog, I've got to stick with my man that I said is going to win the championship since the beginning of the season. I'm going to say Joey Logano is going to be that underdog. Now, he's not going to have a fair chance to look good. He's going to win. So I believe that for the underdog, if my main pick does not win, Joey Logano wins that race. Now, with my main pick, I'm going to go back to Dalton. I'm going to pick Martin Truex. He's too dominant there, so I'll roll with that 19 car.
I guess I forgot my underdog pick since I'm an LTC member now. I'm just going to do this just to piss all y'all off. My underdog is Matt Benedetto.
I hate you.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, who do you have for Sunday?
All right, fellas. I'm going to pick the winner and how it's going to happen. Chase Elliott dumps Kevin Harvick on the last lap to get the dub. Ian, I figured you'd love that. So
if that happens, I'm gonna fight
in the win.
If that happens, I'm gonna be fighting every goddamn Chase Elliott fan in Martinsville.
I'm
gonna find you too, Cody. If that happens, I'm gonna kick your ass.
My shirt, I'm gonna be wearing it at Martinsville. It's a beautiful shirt. It says, "Have a merry off season and a happy Christmas." With a Kevin Harvick box of coal.
I'm gonna call a lawyer. I'm gonna call Chase Elliott's lawyer, and he's gonna sue your ass off.
That's fine.
Hey, Cody released it first. Cody got it out first.
Yeah, I'm gonna sue him for releasing a design after I already made mine.
Reverse psychology.
He just won this round, Ian. That's an L. That's Cody gets the dub there. But no, I do like Chase here though. I think he's fast. I think Blaney's going to play a little too safe and try to point his way in. So I don't think he has to win. So I think he's just going to do what he's got to do to point his way in, even though he's been super fast there. I'm predicting, like I said, Chase wins. And I think we're going to see the championship 4 field be Larson, Denny, Chase, Blaney.
Nah, Blaney's going to get turned by Dylan.
If that happens, I'm fighting you. It's going to be me and Nick versus you in a handicap match.
Let's go.
And then me and Ian are over on the side fighting our own battle.
Yep, it's gonna be a whole bunch of bloodshed. All right. So I'm gonna go with my underdog pick first. I got to agree with Dalton. I'm going with Matt Benedetto. He's ran all right at short tracks. He almost got the win at Bristol. So you know what? Why the hell not? Let's go for Matty D. Gonna get one more win before he's out of that 21.
One more win.
Or
he got none.
One more than 0 is more.
Yeah, it is technically one more.
It'll be the first win of his NASCAR career.
Ian, how salty would you be if Dibby gets this dub? And in this season, Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace, Matt DiBenedetto all finish the season with more wins than Kevin Harvick.
Oof.
Lord.
He's taking the headset off.
Lord.
Oh man.
Lord.
Oh man.
Lord.
He can't come back. He can't come back from that one. He's done.
No, it's been a lot of pain since Kansas last year, and then Texas, and then Martinsville. It's just been a lot of pain ever since then. So just keep it coming. Just keep it coming. I'm loving it.
This will probably never happen again. So let me bask in the glory that is watching all of my drivers have a little more success than this man one time for the one time.
Yeah, it'll never happen again until he retires.
No, absolutely not. That's why we're going to enjoy it now.
I know how I felt last year before Texas.
Yeah. Now I know how you felt all last year.
Yeah, so you bitched at me for nothing. How about that? It came
Yeah,
right back.
except I have it worse this year, so f- you. And then my race winning pick, I gotta go with the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Guys, he is just way too good at this track. We've seen it time and time again that he has kicked ass at Martinsville at the paperclip, so he's gonna get it done at his home track, get himself into the championship 4, and get himself a championship.
All right.
All right,
I can
and
see that.
let's finish off the show here and let's pick our final 4 for Phoenix. Dalton, who do you think is going to be the final 4 racing for a championship?
All right. Well, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin are automatically locked. I kind of gave my prediction away already. I think Martin Truex Jr. is going to be the final caller in. And on my unbiased bracket that I did, before the playoffs started, I picked him as my champion. So, and like Cody said, I could definitely see him winning. The winner of Martinsville is going to go on to win the championship. Martin Truex Jr. did win Phoenix early this year, so it would not be a bad thing at all. As much as I want Kyle Busch to make it, I mean, I'm hoping he does. Don't get me wrong. And with Blaney's wreck, we're still not alive, or we're still not dead. I mean, excuse me. But I just got a feeling they're going to prepare another shitty ass race car. We're not going to run up front. We're not going to get the points we need. Hoping to be proved wrong. We'll see what happens. It's just going to be chaotic. But to be realistic, and I'm just going to stick with Martin Truex Jr. for the final spot. I think Larson's automatically in. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, I think they got plenty of points to not even worry about it. They just got to finish stage 1 in the top 10, and they're in.
All right. Cody, who is your final 4?
So my initial final 4 going into the playoffs, it was all correct minus Denny Hamlin. So I had Denny and Joey flipped. I thought Joey was going to come in and be really competitive in the playoffs. Joey could still go out there and win this Sunday. I don't think anybody would be too surprised if he locked himself in on a win. That's going to be the only way, though. He is in virtually in a win to get in. I think he's under 45 points. The maximum you can get is 60, like a perfect race without winning. So I don't think that the odds are going to be in his favor that well. I think the final 4 as they set now is what we're going to see at Phoenix. I think Kyle Busch is going to go out and do really well. Obviously, Denny and Chase are going to lock themselves in on points alone. I feel like if they run well throughout the first half of the race, I think they'll be locked in halfway through. So I think what we have right now with Larson, Busch, Hamlin, and Elliott, I think that's going to be our championship 4.
All righty. Coop, who you got as your final 4 for Phoenix?
I'm going to get really crazy. So we got Larson, we've got Hamlin, we got Joey, and Brad K. Brad K is a mad sleeper right now. So I'm going to go with Brad K.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad pick for Brad K to slip his way into the final 4, to be honest.
I think him and Chase are like right neck and neck, too, at points right now. I know
No.
Brad's in the cutoff, but.
No, Chase is well above. Chase is second in points right now.
Like
Oh, it's
34.
Kyle. I think Kyle and Brad. Someone's neck and neck.
Kyle and Blaney are 1 point different.
1-1.
Okay, that's who it was. Okay.
And Truex and Blaney are only 2 to 6 points out. Look,
So
Logano's
it's still really close.
literally the only must-win driver right now.
Yeah, because
Everybody else-
Brad's like 7, so that's very doable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike, who's your final 4?
So I'm going to go with Kyle Larson, obviously, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney. Again, Blaney has been fast here in the past. If you remember last year, he had the lead in this race and looked like the class of the field before whatever the fuck he did. He hit the wall with, with no pressure, just randomly I don't know if he had a tire go down. I can't remember exactly what it was, but made an error, hit the wall. Other than that, had one of, if not the fastest cars on the track. He's proven this year to be much more of a consistent driver. Barring the little wreck this last weekend, which was out of his control, he was at 1.30 something points to the good and doing everything he needed to do to be pretty comfortable going in this last race. So there hasn't been any other real evidence to make me think anything other than Blaney comes out, runs well, stays away from that dickhead in the 3 car, just, does what he does.
Oh, God.
That was great. That was
Oh,
absolutely
sheesh.
great.
All right. So for my final four for Phoenix, obviously Larson's locked in. Denny Hamlin's going to be in. Chase Elliott and Brad Keselowski, I think, is going to sneak his way into that final and fourth spot. And my champion, I'm going with Kyle Larson. This guy has been way too dominant this season. He's not slowing down. He's going to get the dub at Phoenix and raise that championship trophy.
I like it.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah. So, guys, that will about wrap it up for our show here. Guys, do you have anything else to add before NASCAR heads to Martinsville this weekend?
I do. Happy Halloween, motherfucker! Let's go!
How do you follow
buy
that
our
up?
fucking merch. Buy
How
our
do you
merch.
follow that up? There's no, you can't follow up Dalton.
No,
Putting
no.
on a,
Just a living legend. That's what he is.
yeah, he's my spokesperson, so Dalton speaks for me.
Damn, you looked like Micro. You were talking about Blaney doing that little.
Oh, jeez. So,
Shit.
guys, make sure you follow the boys over at the Left Turn Cult. We'll make sure to put their links below. Again, thanks to our buddy Dalton Good for designing our logos and our merchandise. You can check that out on spreadshirt.com.
New logo coming soon.
Can't wait. And guys, make sure to like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every time that we upload new content. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We even have a TikTok now. We're going to be uploading more on that soon.
What's your TikTok?
It's Stock Car Spectacle on there.
Okay, I'll get you that
I'm gonna
follow.
follow.
Hell
Same.
yeah. We only got like one TikTok up now, but once we go to Martinsville, there's going to be a few more up. But
go.
yeah. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Guys, Left Turn Cult, thank you again. You guys were awesome. This was a fun show.
Thanks for having us. No, this was a lot of fun. Usually these other podcasts that we end up going on, they're not too fun and they're like pretty like robotic. So this one was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to have you guys on again sometime. We'll definitely hit you up.
Yeah,
For sure,
absolutely,
for
fellas.
sure.
That was
Appreciate
a
you, boys.
blast.
Hell yeah. Well, guys, for the Stock Car Spectacle, I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
Have a great weekend and enjoy Martinsville.